Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Finn discovers Carter and Hope's secret. Lands in tight spot with Steffy. The bold and the beautiful B&B. Spoilers reveal that John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlan, could get a clue about the new man in Hope Logan's, Annika Noel life. P&B fans know Finn was livid when Hope seemingly threw herself at him in lingerie. However, Hope assured Finn and Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline McThinswood, that the design office debacle wasn't what it looked like. Carter Walton, Lauren St. Victor, has been Hope's fiercest defender lately, but she'll have another ally during the week of November 11 to 15. That's when Deacon Sharp, scene canon, will face off with Finn about what really went down at Forrester Creations. Of course, Deacon will rush to Hope's defense and insist his daughter is innocent. Although Hope was guilty of that drunken kiss at the Forrester party, she hasn't made a real move on Finn since then. Unfortunately, it seemed like Hope was plotting to make Finn her man again when she fell on him. Despite Deacon's efforts to convince Finn that it was a misunderstanding, Finn will remain skeptical. Nevertheless, this might be a good time for the wheels to start turning for Finn. Deacon may praise Carter for how supportive he's been of Hope and argue that he believes her about the confusion. Steffy has been questioning why Carter's so passionate about his defense of Hope, so Finn might start thinking about that, too. What if Finn begins to realize maybe there's more than friendship going on between Carter and Hope? After all, Finn has played detective in other storylines, like when he figured out Luna Nozowa, Lisa Yamada, was guilty and found Steffy locked in a cage. Finn also helped Deacon track down captive Shayla Sharp, Kimberlyn Brown, during the whole Sugar, Aka, Janet Weber, Kimberlyn Brown arc, so he has a habit of unraveling mysteries. It's even possible Finn will spot Hope and Carter in a close moment somewhere eventually. Maybe Finn could visit Carter's loft to question him, and once again find Hope in lingerie. That could click everything into place for Finn and make him realize Steffy's indeed had it all wrong. Finn would land in a tight spot since he'd feel obligated to be honest with Steffy, but he also wouldn't want her thinking he's going against her. Although Finn is probably the last person who'd ever want to tell Steffy she made a mistake, he'd have no choice. Steffy might stand by her choice to fire Hope anyway, but it'd be interesting to see her reaction to Finn's curveball. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Hope and Carter's secret has to come out sooner or later. So stick with us for more predictions on who'll uncover the news and give Steffy updates. As Finn strolled through the halls of Forrester Creations, he couldn't shake an uneasy feeling gnawing at him. It started subtly, but in recent weeks, he'd noticed a change in Hope's demeanor. She seemed distracted, distant, and at times downright evasive when he'd casually ask how she was doing. And then there was Carter, who, though professional as ever, seemed to linger a little too long in quiet conversations with Hope when he thought no one was looking. That's when Finn's protective instincts began to kick in. It was natural for him to be wary, especially after everything Steffy had been through with Liam and Hope. Yet this time, he was sensing something different, something hidden but loaded with tension. He had decided to drop by Forrester today, partly out of a hunch, and partly to pick up Steffy for lunch. She had been so stressed lately, with all the Forrester business headaches and co-parenting issues with Liam. She needed a break. But as he rounded the corner near Carter's office, he paused. They're just out of sight, he could hear voices, Hope's hushed tone mingling with Carter's deep baritone. Finn leaned in, not wanting to eavesdrop, but too intrigued to simply walk away. The words weren't completely clear, but there was a strained urgency to their conversation that he couldn't ignore. Carter, we have to be careful. We can't let anyone know, Hope whispered, her voice tinged with anxiety. "Don't worry, Hope," Carter replied. "I'll handle things on my end. We'll be discreet. Just trust me." Finn froze, his mind reeling with questions. This didn't sound like a simple workplace discussion. His mind ran wild, piecing together clues he didn't fully understand. He felt torn between respecting their privacy and figuring out just what was going on. As he stepped back, he almost bumped into Steffi, who appeared at his side with a warm smile. She looped her arm through his, oblivious to his inner turmoil. "Ready for lunch?" she asked, her voice full of excitement. "Absolutely," he said, forcing a smile as they walked out. His thoughts churned, but he kept his silence, not wanting to spoil their rare moment of peace. Over the next few days, Finn couldn't shake the nagging curiosity about what he'd overheard. As a doctor, he prided himself on his focus and calm under pressure, yet the tension between Carter and Hope was different. It didn't seem like an affair, but then again, secrets in the Forrester family rarely ended well. If it were to blow up, he knew Steffi would somehow be pulled into the fallout, given her deep connections to the Forrester family. Finn decided to confront Carter directly, hoping a straightforward approach would get him the answers he needed without crossing any boundaries. So he waited until one evening when Carter was alone in the office and knocked on the door. "Hey, Carter," Finn said, entering with a casual smile that hid his suspicion. "Mind if I chat with you for a minute?" Carter looked up, surprise flickering across his face. "Of course, Finn. What's up?" They exchanged pleasantries, but soon enough, Finn broached the topic. "I couldn't help but notice that you and Hope have been spending a lot of time together lately. I just wanted to make sure everything's okay." Carter's expression turned wary, and he hesitated, clearly considering his words carefully. "Hope and we're just handling some sensitive matters. It's nothing to worry about, really." But the avoidance in Carter's eyes said otherwise. "I get that, but—" Finn hesitated, not wanting to pry too deeply. "Just tell me it's not going to hurt anyone, especially Steffi. She's been through enough." A tense silence fell, and for a second, Carter's gaze softened. "Look, Finn, there's nothing going on that would hurt Steffi, at least not directly. But things may get complicated if this gets out. That's all I can say." It wasn't much, but it was enough for Finn to piece together that something big was indeed happening. With a curt nod, he left the office, his mind spinning with what this secret could mean for everyone involved. Finn's suspicions continued to simmer, and that evening, he found himself more withdrawn than usual. Steffi picked up on it almost immediately. "Finn, is everything okay? You seem a bit distracted," she asked, touching his arm with concern. He looked at her, conflicted about whether he should reveal his suspicions. The last thing he wanted was to upset her, but he also knew keeping secrets from her was a mistake, especially when they might impact her. "It's about Hope and Carter," he finally admitted. Steffi's eyebrows shot up in surprise. "Hope and Carter? What's going on with them?" "I'm not entirely sure," Finn said, choosing his words carefully. "But they're hiding something they don't want anyone else to know. I can't shake the feeling that it's important." Steffi frowned, clearly rattled. "Well, whatever it is, I hope they handle it quickly. The last thing anyone needs is more drama, especially when it's so close to our family." Days later, the tension erupted into the open in the most unexpected way. Finn had barely walked into the office when he heard raised voices from down the hall. He followed the noise, only to find Hope and Carter in a heated argument. This time, there was no whispering, just raw, unfiltered anger. "I can't keep lying, Carter. This is too much," Hope shouted, her voice breaking. Carter's face was a mix of regret and determination. "I know, Hope. But if we come clean now, everything falls apart. Do you really want that?" Their words sliced through the air, and before he could stop himself, Finn stepped into the room. Both Hope and Carter turned, their faces pale with shock at being caught. "What's going on here?" Finn asked, his voice steady but demanding. Hope glanced nervously at Carter before speaking. "Finn, you have to promise to keep this between us. It's about an issue with the Forrester finances, and if it gets out, it could ruin the company's reputation." Relief and tension warred in Finn's chest. This was serious, but at least it wasn't the kind of betrayal he had feared. However, he knew this revelation could still ripple through the family and pull Steffi into its wake. Later that night, Finn found himself sitting with Steffi, carefully deciding how much to reveal. He didn't want to burden her with unnecessary stress, but he knew she deserved to know the truth, or at least part of it. "Steffi, there's something you should be aware of," he said gently. "Hope and Carter are dealing with some serious business issues. I'm not sure of the details, but it could affect Forrester." Steffi took a deep breath, visibly bracing herself. "You mean like financial issues?" "Possibly," Finn replied, choosing his words cautiously. "All I know is they're keeping it quiet to avoid alarming everyone. Just keep an eye out. I didn't want you to be blindsided." Steffi nodded, looking tired but grateful. "Thank you, Finn. I appreciate you telling me. This family has a way of keeping secrets until they explode, and I'm done being the last to know." As they held each other in the quiet of their home, Finn felt a renewed sense of resolve. He was determined to protect Steffi, no matter what secrets or struggles lay ahead.